Back at you with another special one. This is one we've all been waiting for a long time. So, this is another order that I got from INS Hobby. So, shout out to them, INS Hobby. Get here pretty quick once the figures come in. We had a bit of a wait, though, as far as the tariffs were concerned, it's this figure was quite delayed. I'm sure you could guess what it is, but let's get it out of the box. All right, so I just want to show you the packaging. INS Hobby packages it so, nothing happens to the box. You got a nice layer of bubble wrap, but you can tell what it is, so let's get them out of there. And, of course, we got another layer of protection with the corner guards here. You can just take those off. And you can see what it is. This is the Hiya Exquisite Basic Series. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Godzilla Evolve, baby. Yeah. All right. So now, there's been a few reviews on this figure already. We've seen, several people talk about it. And it's been quite some time in the making. We saw the original promo photos. Everybody was very excited about that. And we got a nice box here, I'll tell you what. It's like a nice yellow and pink. And it looks pretty good. Got Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire on the top and on the bottom of the box. We have Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire with the Toho Legendary and Monsterverse logos and a nice picture of the figure there. We're going to have the dorsal plates on the other side. And then on the back, it's fairly simple box here, but it's maintaining that yellow and pink hue all the way through. And then you have two more pictures of the figure on the back. And a simple but effective box, I have to say. It's kind of nice, Got a nice guy, it's made to look like Godzilla walking through the desert or something, you know what I mean? And it looks good. So I like Hiya's boxes because they don't go overboard with it. They keep it basically simple. But the color scheme is nice. They're sharp, their boxes, and it looks pretty good. So let's get them out of there and check them out. Okay, so let's show you the whole packaging here. We're going with a nice clamshell. Of course, we have, the only accessory that it comes with is an extra set of claws. So, but there he is, folks. And it's a nice, simple presentation. I like it, Simple clamshell, simple box. It's very nice. It's kind of classic looking. So, kudos to Hiya Toys. So this actually smells great. It's got that new figure smell. And yeah. Okay. That looks really good. Wow. I wish you guys could actually smell what I'm smelling right now. It's got such a strong new figure smell to it. Hell yeah. Let's go. Let's go, G. Okay, so here we have our first look. So, right off the bat, I'm going to say I don't quite think, and I'm going to bring them out to compare, but I don't quite think this is as impressive as the SH Monster Arts. You know what I mean? And that's just straight off it first coming out of the box. It looks pretty cool. It looks nice. It's on the lighter side for a Hiya figure. The SH Monster Arts Godzilla Evolved is light as well. But this is certainly light as far as a Hiya figure is concerned. But I haven't posed them or messed with them quite yet. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to reserve judgment on, whether this is a decrease in quality or not. Lighter doesn't mean poorer quality, but it is a lighter weight figure than a normal Hiya. you know, just the same as the SH Monster Us was, you know, seemed to me lighter than normal as well. But so far he looks okay. And, you know, we've heard several reviewers, a bunch of them, pretty much everybody who has reviewed it has spoken about, you know, the dorsal plates being quite mediocre as far as the paint job. You know, and that's kind of what jumps out at you right away. You know what I mean? It's like they're yogurty. They're not very good. They're like, you know, very bland pink. They got some white tones in them, but it's a very amateurish, yogurty paint job. You know what I mean? This is what my paint job looks like if I do a figure. You know what I mean? It's like kind of on the yogurty, heavy-handed, I guess, but and they're not terrible, but they're definitely not great. The dorsal plates look nice, but you know, the paint job on them is just not, it's not making them pop. So, but he does have, I do like the paint job on the body. You know what I mean? Yeah, the dorsal plates could have been a little bit better, but the paint job overall on the body is nice, and we'll take a closer look at that as we break it down, you know. Yeah, and you can see, you know, the head sculpt looks okay. You got the pink on the brows, tiny pink dorsal plates. You know, it's all right. You know, it's okay. Yeah, on the legs, you know, inside of the legs, on the chest, the paint job is kind of nice. It's nice on the body. Yeah, it's not bad. It looked much better in the promo pictures, I have to tell you. I can't wait to put it side by side with the SH Masas to really just compare the two of them. But face looks good here. Teeth look pretty good too. They're not bad. You know what I mean? I know, you know, Shinrub Jura was talking about the teeth, you know, saying how they're not terrible. And they definitely look pretty good, you know. You can see them individually. They're a good bone color. Yeah. And the eyes, yeah, they're all right too. They're not bad. We'll get to that. They're kind of small, but they look pretty good, the eyes. And I like the facial sculpt. You know, I really like that. Yeah, that definitely captures Godzilla Evolved. I like the screen accuracy of it. You know. So yeah, we get those minor flaws out of the way. Well, I guess you could consider the dorsal plates not being the greatest as a major flaw, because they really should pop. But, and they're soft too. They're very soft. Hopefully they don't break easily. But yeah, that's a minus. That's definitely not a bonus on this figure, is the dorsal plates. That's going to take the figure down or not. I like the look of them. You know what I mean? They actually look impressive when you back up and look at them. That's the shape of them, like the sculpt of them, the spikiness of them. They look good, you know. I don't know. They look okay from different angles. When the white shines through and you could see it like through the camera, it looks okay. But you can see the way it's applied. It's rather yogurty. It's like strawberry yogurt. You know what I mean? Strawberry goji. Yogurt goji. So, anyway, let's pose this sucker and see what he could do. Okay, so here we have a nice action pose. And One thing to note is that the legs do not spread apart that wide. So just note that. I think the legs are a little bit limited in function, I would have to say. Um, so that's just to get a flaw off the bat. Tail, very nice. It's buttery smooth. It's soft. And you got really good posability on it. That's a nice curvature to this tail. You could bend it quite a bit. So that, I would say, is a highlight. And it's just a really fantastic, in my opinion, head sculpt. I really, really like this. I think it's screen accurate. You can see the inside of the mouth there. The teeth are really fantastic. Take a look at the teeth. Eyes are well done. I love it. Yeah, I really, really like the detail on the face, on the side of the face. You get those spikes on the bottom, on the back of Godzilla's jaw right there. So that looks really, really nice. And the dorsal plates, what can I say? You know what I mean? I love the color of them, I think the shade is correct, right? And I like when the light shines off the white that's applied in them. But it's a little milky. You can see that. You know what I mean? But, overall, they're not bad. They're nice. Like when the light shines off of it and you see the white like that, they look nice. When you have it up in close in person, it's a tad yogurty. But that's really all I could say about that. They don't take away from the figure. You know what I mean? They're nice dorsal plates. Just whatever. Just note that. You know what I'm saying? But so, highs and lows with this figure. We waited a long time for this figure. And, I guess like any other figure, it's going to have its high points and its low points. You know what I mean? But the promo pictures certainly look different than the figure that we ultimately got. But, man, fantastic head sculpt. It just looks so good. It really captures Godzilla Evolved nicely. So, I'm liking the figure for the highlights of it for sure, And that's just a nice pose. And the tail is phenomenal. You know what I mean? So we're good. Like good teeth, good eyes, good head sculpt. Great tail. Dorsal plates are a little meh. You know what I mean? They're cool, but they're not. And I would say a little bit limited articulation as far as the legs, because they don't really spread out that wide. But maybe it's because it's Godzilla Evolved, and he's just that's the way he's shaped. But anyway, let's keep posing him. Okay, now here we're gonna transition to a nice running pose, which actually looks really good. You know what I mean? That looks great. Yeah, so that's kind of quality right there. So it looks good when you pose it, this figure, I have to say. So cool running pose. Okay, wow, that's a really nice foot stomping pose. Okay, so the legs just gained back some credibility for their bend at the knee. I like that, where you could get a solid, really solid coming down with that foot because of the bend at the knee right there. That's nice. That's a nice foot stomping pose right there. Of course, balance it with the tail as well. That helps. Man, that looks nice. And we've got a really nice swimming pose here. You're going to have to put it on the stand, though, because it doesn't balance. I'll just hold it up like that so you can see how it would look if he was placed on the stand. And that's really nice because the head does look pretty forward. So you could get, that's the swimming stance you're getting. And that is really, really nice. So kudos to Hiya for that. Okay, wow. Now that is a dynamic pose. So what I want, So first of all, this tail is fantastic. This might be the best tail on any Hiya figure so far. It's so smooth. It's tight. Like there's no gappage whatsoever at all, and it's extreme. Look at that curvature. Extremely posable. Then you're gonna get some nice turn at the waist. You're gonna get some fantastic turn at the head, man. Awesome the way you and the way you could turn the head side to side here with this Godzilla is the same buttery smoothness that's in the tail. And you don't get gappage when you crunch because this is basically like a movable dorsal plate that goes up and down so that when you crunch them at the waist or make them look down, you can raise that up and a little the dorsal plates are aligned correctly still. You know what I mean? So you don't get any gappage. Fantastic pose. That looks absolutely awesome. Sick, guys. Yeah, okay, so that really, that kind of articulation is really making this figure awesome for me. That's removing any doubt I had about the figure when you could get it into poses like that. That's awesome. And everybody well damn knows that. You know what I mean? So, very, very cool posability. Okay, now we're getting into the realm where I think this might be an elite figure. And that, so what if the dorsal plates are a little yogurty and the legs don't go out that wide? The legs redeem themselves, first of all, anyway, because of the bend at the knee. And then you just have such a phenomenal tail. But take a look right here at the bend at the elbows, too. You know what I'm saying? That's fantastic arm articulation right there. You know what I'm saying? And that's about as high up as you could get his head. So that's about as tall and as high as you could get him to sit, which is still pretty damn good, man. You know what I mean? You could still get him into a roaring into the sky pose like that, and that's quite nice. But wow, this tail, killer, man. This is one of the best tails that I've seen on a figure recently, period. Like in the last couple of years. It's so good, this tail. You know what I mean? This is everything you want a tail to be. It hasn't popped out once. It's tight. It's got give. It just bends any which way you want and holds it pretty well. Of course, you see some nice detail right here on the sides and on his legs and on the tail going down. Yeah, this is a really nice figure, man. It actually is really nice. You know what I mean? I was about to get on the bandwagon of it's flawed, blah, blah, blah. However, it's made up for its flaws. It's made up for its flaws in other areas. And I like that. You know what I like? That's, to me, how you like. Because not every figure is going to be flawless. It's just not going to happen. Most figures won't be. It's very rare that you see a figure that's actually really flawless. Usually they all have their little flaws here and there. You know what I mean? And, the dorsal plates being a little milky, that's nothing. You know what I mean? That's really, really nothing compared to what this figure could actually do. And I like that. It allows for super nice tail off the ground poses, man. All right, and here's another thing, too. The Thagomizer right there is so smooth. Like, I love how this functions. You know what I mean? Because this caps off everything that you could do with the tail. You know what I mean? So, that's excellent, the way that looks good no matter how you twist it and bend it and pose it. Like, that could really, the Thagomizer could really adds to the pose of the tail. You know, and it's got good balance. Obviously, you can see here, that's a beautiful tail off the ground pose. You see Godzilla basically lurching forward, you know what I mean? Which he ran and did that in the movie, you know what I mean? Like, when he was like running at Kong. But you know, we'll see if we can recreate that pose for you. But you know what I'm saying? Beautiful, man. That looks awesome, dude. Sick. This figure also allows for a fantastic crawling on all fours pose. Godzilla, you could have Godzilla basically reaching out, looking to scrape you with his claws. Very, very nice. Awesome, awesome tail off the ground pose. Yeah, and wow. The articulations just function so nicely to be able to let you do that. The legs are definitely underrated. Just the fact that they don't spread wide doesn't really mean a damn thing anyway, as far as like the amount of poses you could put it in, because the legs still allow you, you know, to accomplish things, mostly because of the way the knee is set up. But awesome. I mean, this is the kind of crazy shit you can do with this tail. You know what I'm saying? If that's not a highlight, I don't know what is. A Zen Buddhist Godzilla. Meditate, deep in meditation, right? The thinker. You know what I mean? But look at that tail, man. Winner, winner. Godzilla dinner. You know what I mean? Awesome, bro. That tail is amazing. Just to even think about a Godzilla levitating from his tail. Fantastic, man. Okay, so this is just to show you how wide he does go. And the legs did loosen up a little bit. By the way, look at the realistic, you know, going from the inside of his legs up to his belly and chest. Look at the realistic detail right there. That's awesome. But this is about as wide as his arms and legs can go. The legs loosened up, so they do go a little bit wider. And yeah, that looks fucking cool too. Awesome. So you get a nice spread on it. He's fairly wide. Okay, so now I wanted to switch it out the hands for the fist hands, so you could see how that looks. And just damn, man, that tail is amazing. But yeah, so the fist hands, they were a little difficult to get on, and you can grip with them too. So we'll test that as well. But it looks to be that you can put something in there and make them grip onto something. So that's cool. But they look nice. Yeah, decent. It was a bitch to get on. You know what I mean? I'm over here sweating trying to put the fists in. But that's cool. You know what I mean? At least we got one accessory with it, which are gripping hands. So that's dope. Any kind of accessory is good. Okay, so now I just want to show you the grippage here. You know, courtesy of the Playmates drone, which fits very nicely. So you could fit something the size of a drone, a plane, something like that into his hand. It doesn't look like it's wide enough to fit, you know, a Hiya Kong axe, but you could certainly fit something smaller like a drone like that, which is pretty cool. It's cool that it grips something. Look at the balance this figure has. You could get it on one foot with a little help at the tail. Make it look like Godzilla's about to throw a punch. Awesome. I love that it has that kind of balance and articulation. Now, with the help of Playmates Tiamat, we're just going to talk about how Godzilla evolved and became Godzilla Evolved. So, basically, Godzilla was hearing the Iwi's distress call that something was wrong. So he was charging up. He went to the nuclear facility in France. He sucked all of the radiation out of that. And then he headed towards Tiamat's lair. Now, Tiamat's lair was one of the biggest sources of energy on Earth, basically. It's in the ocean. But one of the biggest sources of energy. And it was like pink in color, like Godzilla's dorsal plates wound up becoming. And Godzilla fought and killed Tiamat, and then went into her lair and charged up and went, you know, obviously from the blue dorsal plates to pink, you know, so that he could eventually supercharge and be evolved for the fight with Kong against Scar King and Shimo. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. When Godzilla senses something like that, he charges himself up and evolves. And yeah, so that's cool. Let's see if we get a Hiya or SH Monster Arts Tiamat, which would be cool. How he scales with Hiya Shimo. And that's great. I don't have the Kong or Scar King, obviously, yet, you know. They're going to be coming soon. Kong first, and then Scar King, who we just got to see and looks pretty good. So, but I think the scaling is fairly good. That's pretty good to me. Is it about right? I don't know. Maybe Shimo should be a little taller. Possibly. I don't know. It's about close enough, man. You know what I mean? They look good next to each other. So, yeah. All right. So we have the first two out of this set, man. You know, I'm going to keep going, but I think it scales okay. All right. Here we go. Rocky and Apollo. Oh, man. This is what we want to see. Hiya versus SH Monster Arts. So, obviously we could see, you know, straight away there's major differences, especially in the paint job. SH Monster Arts is darker with a little bit more pronounced dry brushing right here. I think, you know, you definitely have, oh man, the detail on the chest is more pronounced on the SH Monster Arts because of the dry brushing. I happen to like the paint job on the body on the SH Monster Arts better. I prefer it to be a little darker. Even though it's, you know, he probably wasn't in the film. I don't know. The look of that paint job is a little more impressive, I would have to say. And, you know, the SH Monster Arts, without question, has the better dorsal plates. You know what I mean? They don't have... well, they have a shiny effect to them, you know what I mean? They're a bit translucent. But they just look, you know, they look nicer, you know what I mean? Like, it's the paint job is... Well, I don't know if it's better, but it's just different. I think you give the dorsal plates to the SH Monster Arts on this one. These dorsal plates look nice. It's just the way the pink is painted on it. And this is just shiny and really nice. Now, screen accuracy on the face is going to go to Hiya, obviously. Although I do happen to like the face of the SH Monster Arts. But Hiya is going to take it as far as, you know, teeth, tongue, and eyes, and facial sculpt. Yeah. You know, of course, you know, articulation is going to go to SH Monster Arts, except for the tail. You know what I mean? Hiya has the better tail. That's for sure. So you see, you know, all of these figures have their flaws and also have their highlights. You know what I mean? I do think that the SH Monster Arts tail looks nicer. Hiya is just softer and more articulated. So I'm happy I have both. I think they both look really good. So I really can't pick a winner. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's stupid, to be honest with you, because I appreciate what both companies have to offer, and I'm always collecting both. All right, folks. That's going to wrap it up. We got Godzilla sleeping right here. So, yeah. I do highly recommend Godzilla Evolve by Hiya. It's listen, I respect figures that overcome their flaws. You understand? Like that's how you know you won with the figure, because they're all gonna have flaws. But do the highs take out the lows? And in this case they do. You know what I mean? It's got great screen accuracy, good facial sculpt, good teeth, good eyes, good articulation. It's good, you know, above average articulation, I would have to say, and one of the best tails I've seen in quite some time. So, you know, and the dorsal plates are the dorsal plates. They're pretty cool, you know what I mean? Like when you move them around and the light hits them, and you see the white part about them, they look pretty cool. So, yeah, anyway, let's keep going. I got more figures, man. Like my goddamn video. Subscribe to my channel. And if you like this guy, go out and get you some Godzilla Evolve from Hiya. Peace.